Hey everybody, listen to me do a podcast.
Because in either game, life or football, the margin for error is so small. I mean, one half a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. Hell yeah. They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second.
Legal.
What up everybody? My name is Brent and I do a podcast, and basically what I do is I talk about business success, which doesn't mean what we all think it may mean. And although I think the definition is changing as the information age is doing its thing and informationing people, we will get smarter in certain things and not so smart in other things. But it's the quest to be happy, and happiness. Some people will scoff at happiness, but again, there's a difference between happiness and joy. And like for me, it's the reason why I want to be better at business is because not that I want to get a Lamborghini and a nice house, and because I know the problems with all that stuff. You get a Lamborghini and everybody's all giving you they're all looking at you all the time. No, the problem is it's like owning a horse. You picture owning a horse. You're like, all right, I'm going to be on my horse and I'm going to be riding on, like by my house, we have nice horse trails. And you're riding this horse, and you're going along the horse trail, and you go past these bushes, and it's just that they brush against your leg, and you feel one with the world. And the horse looks at you and winks, and get your cowboy hat on, and you stop at the Lone Star Inn for a beer, and you get back on your horse, and you ride off into the sunset, going home. And when I had my horse, the most fun I had with my horse is pulling it in the horse trailer, driving it, because I like to pull things. And after that, it's just the daily cleaning, and then the vet bills, and then the stable bills, and then I got it for my daughter and getting her to get over there. And of course she'd say, "Dad, do we have to go?" And we just went yesterday. And like, yeah, well, the horse is a horse, so you gotta run them, you gotta walk them, and do whatever else. And then there's some gross things you gotta do too, especially a gelding. It's just really bad things. And so the good is good, but the bad starts to outweigh the good. And I grew up around horses, so I knew this going into it. And to me, it's okay if you have the time and the money, but I was just too busy. And my daughter, she wasn't all in, and I'm not mad at her. Just kids nowadays they're overexposed to everything. So I always make the mistake of, you think of your childhood and you try to overlap some of the things with the kids coming up now, but it's so different that you just can't compare the two. Because if you and I, when we were young, if we would have had the same oversaturation of everything and things and opportunities, we wouldn't turn out the way we turned out either. So yeah, the horse got to the point where we weren't going there all the time, and I'm not the cowboy that I once was. I'm not good with horses. I'm too nice of a guy, and the horses know that, and they kick the crap out of me. I feel like I'm having a heart attack when I used to go in the round pen and get the horse to run. The horse would size me up, and I would act like I'm in the alley. I'd stick my chest out and just drop F-bombs sometimes, and trying to psych myself out. because the horse will pick up on you, man. He knows you're weak, and you can take the best horse, and it'll ultimately start to be a brat, and just like a wife, you take the best wife, and if you don't crack that whip, boy, she'll turn into a bad horse. So so I know the downfalls of all that stuff. So like in the home, you can have I walk into these $20 million homes, and I see the HVAC guys there all the time. The what else? The audio, HVAC, it's heating and air, audio visual, AV. What are they called again? The guys that fix the stupid. Come on, somebody quick. We'll say AV guys, audio visual guys. They're $150 an hour, and they're always there. And it's not like you build a house and it's done. I mean, if a house is 10 years old, you got to start rebuilding the damn thing. They're not. I don't know if, like, my house is built in probably the 50s, and it's still good. It still holds up. The new ones, not so much. And they're constantly getting remodeled. Electricians are always at these homes, and the curtains, they get these handmade curtains from the fabric from Italy, and it's $300 a yard, and blah blah blah, and that gets withered in the sun, and then you got to get new curtains, and then it just doesn't end. And so I know the downfalls of that. Plus, my grandma said, simplify your life, and basically the stuff, you don't own the stuff will own you. And so I'm thinking, okay, if I do get more money from one of the other companies, I'm not going to live beyond kind of where I'm at right now. It's just, you try to pay for conveniences, just every once in a while we'll get a house cleaner, and then we'll get when we're busy, and then try to keep it up ourselves, then we'll hire one. But you just get your regular housekeeper, your regular this, just to make your life simple. But you don't want to get caught up in, okay, now I'm going to start get a bigger house and all these new cars. And then, because every time you get something in your mind, you're like, okay, I'm getting a new car, I gotta get a speaker system, gotta get radio. And then before you know it, your life is based around things. And sure, some things are great, but the trick is, if you can get yourself to appreciate how lucky you are just to be here and to have all this opportunity, and that, when you get the stuff, it's not going to make you that happy after the first initial month. Again, like the horse, it's not like you just jump on the horse, you go riding, and everybody's in awe because you look so cool. No, it's just so much work, and then the work becomes a drag. And I see the most wealthiest people, and then, you're thinking, oh, well, my plan, I'm going to get a better house and a better car and a better this and better that. And I see guys that are really wealthy, and then they of course they get rid of their wife, and they get their trophy wife, and those guys are the most miserable SOBs, because now they're chasing for their wife's attention, and they can't get it. And because they marry a girl half their age, and the girl's just there for the money, and then all she wants to do is, now I got the money, I'm gonna get on Facebook, and it's just her group, and then there's the guy that provides. I'll give him as little attention as I can. I'll turn into that bad horse that we talked about earlier, because the guy can't crack the whip. And there's a lot of pitfalls, and so essentially it's I think and I probably didn't feel like this a few years ago. I mean, believe me, I would enjoy a Lamborghini. So, it just initially I wouldn't get one. And here's why. Because you only got so much time right now with, like, if you have kids. Your kids are a certain age. If you start to chase the money and the business to such an extent that you're going to lose the time with your kids, when the money starts coming in, your kids are going to be used to being distant with you. So it's going to drive you nuts. You're going to be like, yeah, we got this badass diesel pusher. We're all going to go camping. And kids are going to like, oh, no, I'm good. I'd rather stay in and be on my social media or go with my friend or do. And you're going to be like, hey, no, I worked hard so we can all do this. Like, no, you worked hard for too long. You stayed away. You weren't into your kids as much to keep them close to you to where they don't have the desire to be with you. So the one thing that I'm learning about success is that's fine. You could do, I mean, I got a few companies that any one of them could do well at any time, but hey kids, let's go to the office. Let's go. And for the cleaning company, hey, I got this estimate to do. Get in the car. Let's go. Hey, it's I'm going to do a job in Big Bear. Come on, let's go. We'll drive up there, drop you off at grandma's. You want to keep the kids involved as much as you can. And yes, the wife, because then they will be with you, because the kids don't care about all that stuff. The car and then the vacations. Believe it or not, they don't. You could tell your kids, hey, let's go to a park and afterwards we'll go to pizza, which costs, $75, and you can have as good a time as if you went to Maui. But look at, Maui is going to cost you $12,000, and there really isn't that much different. And you'll probably be more stressed going to Maui, and you'll be arguing the whole time. Especially like me, I take the kids to Catalina, and I try to convince them that it's Maui, and then they don't buy it. So you if you could be wise, I always say wise beyond your years, and say, look, success is great, and you can add it, like a surgeon to certain areas and make your life great. But the big grandiose stuff, I tell you where that'll make an impact. When the kids leave the house and now you have a safety net to where the kids are going to school, they're always going to struggle. And the fact that they have a place that they can come back to visit, to come back to when they're kind of in a lull. Not for I mean, kick your kids out, if they're not producing and they can't survive. It's the only way they're going to learn. But as they're going through life and something happens, they lose a job and they can't afford to pay rent for a few months to get back on their feet. Whatever it is, something emergency happens. To have that place that they can come back, now they just appreciate it. So the money that you would have spent, and okay, you spent it, kids didn't care, now the kids are gone, and now you're just trying to pay bills too, and you're stressed out, and you don't have the extra income or the extra time to help out. When the kids really would appreciate that money, now you don't have it. So it's and I'm setting myself up this way by design. I have to fight my nature. My nature is to go out and buy a new and KTM Enduro, and all these different things I want to do, and all these different vacations I want to take, and so I have to put a restrictor plate on. Take the restrictor plate off. Wait, a restrictor plate slows you. Yeah, put it on in NASCAR. You put it so it's not too aerodynamic, so everything's kind of even. So I have this plate on me. What are we talking about again? Oh yeah. So it's just slowing yourself down, but you got to think. You got to just stop and think. Okay, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? And just think about. Yeah, it would be nice to have that car. But then when you get the car, you're going to want this. You're going to want to do that for it. And now you got to drop it off. And you got to pick it up. And then when you get the wrap and it looks all bitchin', and then some idiot opens his door and dings it. And then if the car cost you, $100,000 or $200,000, think about it. Think of what else you could have done with that money. You could have put it in the bank, or somewhere where you make more money. Invest in a marijuana dispensary. No, I wouldn't do that. But you have the money now, and then the joy you get from having the money and the opportunities that come from that will ultimately make you more happy than if you bought that car. Now, if you have everything squared away and you got time to do it, while the kids are in school, by all means, go to the Lambo dealer. But and you know what? I would suggest getting a used one too, because the new ones they got no soul. They're like an Indian. But you get these nice things, and we equate them to success and happiness, and I think nothing could be further from the truth, because you get